you guys, my name is Cyan Gore and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is that time of month again where we are going to be picking out our TBR for the month of August. Just some books that we may or may not read. And I say that because last month I had 8 books on my TBR and these are the ones that I did not read. Yeah. I only read 2 books that were on my TBR last month, so these are going to go back into the stack. Today, I figured I would do it a little bit differently than I did my last one where I just randomly had it chosen for me what book to read. And I thought we would go back to the old tried and true TBR jar method. A lot of YouTubers do this. The first person I saw do this was Rachel, and I think it's such a fun idea, especially because this will give me a little bit more control over the books that I actually have to pick from. So I feel like it will give me better odds at actually finishing a TBR one month, possibly. So that's what we're going to do today. First, let me put these back where they belong. It kind of feels like a little bit shameful having to put these back up here, but it's okay. So now that they are all in their respective spots, let's go ahead with our first pick. I think for this TBR, I'm going to pick 8 books. I know I did that last month and I only read 2, but still, I'm going to pick 8 books just for funsies. So the first option we have, okay, that's very vague. It just says a rom-com. So basically, I can pick from a lot of different books. I don't really know if you would consider this rom-com. It might just be contemporary romance, but they always seem to be a little bit funny to me, so I am going to pick A Photo Finish by LZ Silver. This is the second book in the, what is this series called? Gold Rush Ranch series. They are getting republished, so I do have the new cover, and I am excited to continue this series, so I think that is a great first pick. Moving on, okay, a book title that starts with the letter M. Okay, so we have Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. I tend to either really love Riley Sager's writing or get severely disappointed. This is his newest release. I haven't actually heard any great things about it, but I still want to end up reading it, so this is our next option. Pick number 3 will be a book with sports in it. So this is going to be a sports romance. How fun! Okay. We have an array of options with that as well. I have the newest book in the Boys of Tommen series, Taming 7 by Chloe Walsh. I also have The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata, Unsteady, Long Shot, Throttled. I think I'm actually going to go with Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan just because I haven't read anything by this author yet, but I have heard great things. And I think that this is a sports romance, but it's also like more of a emotional romance. So I'm excited to finally give this author a try. Next up, we have, I'm trying to really mix them up good, but it's like hard because there's really no space in the jar for that. The biggest / longest book on your TBR. Actually, you know what? The longest book on my TBR that I have not read yet that I need to, that has absolutely got to be House of Sky and Breath. It's the second Crescent City book. I really enjoyed the first one. I just have not been in the mood to get into the second one, but I have gotten back into my fantasy mood. I know a lot of people say that like fall time starts for them in September, but for me it's August because I always associated August as going back to school and the fall being August, even though it's not. It's hot as sin here in Georgia, but still. Does anyone else do that? Anyways, all that is to say I have been getting back into my fantasy reading mood, so I think this will be a good option. We have some great picks so far, but I am nervous for this month because it's a lot. So let's pick our next one. An author's debut novel. For this one, I'm definitely going to have to do some Googling around to see. I know this was on my TBR last month and I did not get to it, but it sounds like such an interesting premise. I'm not going to go over it again because I'll probably do so in a reading vlog, but let's just say that her husband keeps transforming into a different man every time he goes to the attic to change a light bulb. That sounds interesting. I honestly do think that this is a debut novel. This exuberant debut. Okay, yeah, this is going to be the next read for sure. Now, let's pick our next read. A book with a black cover. Easy. We have so many options for this. Ooh, I know. I'm going to pick this one back here. The Book of Azrael. I heard Rachel, not the same one as earlier, but a different Rachel on YouTube. She has like the best fantasy romance recommendations, and she read this recently, or actually reread it, and she said that it's a 5-star for her. So I do want to read this because I just need some new 5-star top tier fantasy romances in my life, and you can never have too many. So I am super excited for it. it. I think I say that about all of these picks, but it's okay. Let's move on. A book that has the word love in the title. You would think I would have one of these. This one has lovely. I'm going to say that counts. This is A Court This Cruel and Lovely, another fantasy romance that I've heard great things about. So yeah, looks like we're gonna have a very romantic-y heavy reading month. I say that, but there's only 3. Anyways, let's just move on to our next pick. That one fell into my lap, so maybe it was meant to be. A book with summer vibes. I only really have one that I can think of, and that's because summer is literally in the title. It is The Summer of Broken Rules. I was originally going to read this in my Reading Books with No Spice vlog, but during that vlog I kind of had a realization that I'm not obsessed with YA romances because they feel a little bit cheesy and too juvenile for me, but I bought it. So we're gonna give it a shot. Maybe it'll be a nice palette cleanser. Maybe this one will just hit different. Who knows? This is an option. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 2 more books to pick. A book with a person on the cover. So this is, ooh, actually, I was gonna say this is probably gonna be another romance, but I am seeing some fantasies with people on the cover. Should I do something different? I feel like maybe I should. This might be a little bit of cheating, but if you've ever looked at the Indigo Ridge cover, yeah, it looks like mountains, but you can also see the outline of it being someone's face. So I'm going to use this as our book choice because I do want to try Devney Perry's books. I haven't read anything by this author and I've heard nothing but great things. I think that this will be a great romance series too because I believe there's like a little bit of a mystery and it's also small town. Come on, perfect for me. So now we have one final pick and let's see what we get. A book you got as a recommendation from someone in real life. Here's the thing, I don't have many reader friends, so like my sister reads books. Maybe I'll text her real quick and ask her for a recommendation. That's what I'll do. She'll definitely respond. Now we wait and see. Okay, so actually my sister is at an event right now for someone's birthday and she said that she'll look and send me a list when she gets home. She asked me for a sports recommendation or a mafia recommendation and I said mafia since we already have a sports pick in here. So whatever she ends up deciding, I will put on the screen and that will be our last book. But let's quickly go through the other 9 books that are going to be on my TBR. The first one we have is A Photo Finish by Elsie Silver. We all know how I feel about Elsie Silver. Love her. Then we have Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. I'm interested because I do tend to like his writing, but I have not heard great things. Also, I accidentally got the large print edition, but it's a paperback and it's floppy, so that's good. Then we have Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. I'm ready to be emotionally wrecked by this author. I don't even know if it's going to be like that, but who knows? We also have the second book in the Crescent City series. It is a ginormous book, but you know what? I've read bigger, I think. I read When the Moon Hatched. Is that bigger? Possibly not. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna try and read this month. Next up is The Husbands. I have no idea what genre this falls under, but what, Cyan? But nothing. This is it. It's on my TBR now. The Book of Azrael. So excited. I really want to like read this right now. It's just when I watch a video, someone else gives it a 5-star, it's immediately bumped up on my list of like, I want to read it right at the second. This will be read pretty soon. We also have A Court This Cruel and Lovely. It's another one I'm very excited to get into. I know nothing about any of these books, obviously, because I haven't read them, but this one, I don't know, it just gives me good vibes. Then we have The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walther. Might need a palette cleanser sometime this month. Might be in the mood for it. Who knows? It is technically like, I think, the last month to get all of our summer reads in my opinion. So maybe this one will find its way in there. If not, honestly, don't expect me to read that until next summer. Next up, we have Indigo Ridge. I feel like this will be another palette cleanser just because I feel like people like it, but people aren't typically obsessed with the series. However, I do love when a romance has a little bit of a mystery in it, and we all know I love my small town romances, so I think this will be good. And then lastly, I don't know what we're reading yet. You do. It'll be on the screen once again. It's my sister's recommendation, and it is a mafia romance. So that is a good mix of books. But that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what is on your TBR, and if you read any of these books, what are your thoughts and opinions? Which ones will I love? Okay, just go ahead and tell me now. Don't tell me if you hated any of them, because then that will sway me and I will literally end up not reading it. So if you loved these, let me know. But that is it from me. I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!